Hi, it's great to have you here today. This is part 3, Finalizing the Digital Monthly Budget, and I am Kelly Fountain of Trios Regional Library. Now that we have our monthly budget kind of template set up, we're going to enter some more specific information. So let's put in that our payroll came on the 1st of March. My electric bill also becomes due on the 1st of March. I don't know about you guys, so that would be another thing. I pay my mortgage bi-monthly, so right now it's coming due on the 1st of March also. My water bill is due on the 15th. My internet bill is due on the 19th. I actually have my mortgage due twice a month. It's also due on the 15th. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put my placeholder so that this is selected in blue, this cell, and I'm going to go insert a row above. And now I have a blank row to work in right there, and I'm going to go in there and I'm going to enter another 315, 21, and I'm going to type in mortgage. When they want to autofill like that, you can hit tab and it will autofill. It's another thing you can do. So my payroll is actually on the 1st, and let's go ahead and put in 800. My electric bill, we're going to kind of keep it simple, and I'm going to put this in as a negative 150. So if we were to be exact, we would have different figures with, you know, two number decimal places out. My mortgage is $268 twice a month. And that also should appear as a negative number. So now that I've gone ahead and I want to edit this number, I have to go up to this editing line up here. And I can put a negative sign in there. And then I can just hit enter, and that'll make that value negative. My water is usually around negative 45. It's more expensive usually in the summer because you use more water. Another negative 268. My internet also has my cell phone bills is about 140. Say 140. Let's go back and make sure we get that negative in there, negative 140. Okay, this is looking fairly good so far, but I realize I'm missing my second payroll, which usually happens around the 15th. So I'm gonna click in here and I'm gonna add it before my water because I like to see my incoming before my outcoming. And I'm gonna go ahead and insert and add another row above. Now, what I could do is go ahead and highlight these and then right click. And I could copy, and then I could come in here and I could tell it to paste. And for some reason, we have Control V set up on these machines. So I've pasted the same information. I just need to go back in here now, go into my number line, which is up higher, and change that to 15. All right, so I have some positive and some negative values, and it's all looking really good. So since I am working with Google Sheets automatically saves all my work as I'm doing it. So I don't have to auto save, and I don't have to worry about losing the work. So let's go back to the PowerPoint for a minute. So we've talked about some of these things, and let's go to the next slide. We've talked about the beginning of our monthly bills. We've set up a diagram. And now I want to look at these different functions, okay? So the auto sum button is a really important button that we'll look at. It's on the far right side in Google Sheets. it looks like this kind of E symbol, or this Greek E symbol. It's kind of like an M on its side. And if you click on the drop down arrow here, you will see there's a bunch of different functions built into this button. The first one's auto sum. That's the one I use the most, especially with budgets, because I'm just looking at negative and positives, and I'm adding those together. So I am going to use that function here in a minute. Another thing it'll let you do, say you had a bunch of grades and you wanted to see what the average grade was, then you could have those numbers, and at the very end, you could input the average, and then that would give you that information. Count counts how many records. Max gives you the maximum, so the maximum number on our spreadsheet so far is going to be the income of the $800, because it's the highest amount, and we'll also give the minimum amount. And I think my cheapest bill that I've listed is negative. Well, I guess it would be the biggest negative bill number is the minimum. All right, so those are some things to keep in mind. So another thing we want to learn is that the AutoSum is related to a function, and this function can be written as a formula. So we can use the AutoSum button and it will automatically put in this formula, but what this formula says is I want you to equal the sum of a range, and the range is going to be, it's going to be actually C5 in this example through C8. Okay, it's going to be a little bit different for ours. The range, once you get in here, you'll be able to drag and select it. So we'll see how to do that here in a moment. So here's an example. As soon as I clicked in this area, I was able to drag these cells, and it was telling me that's C5. And then we also have what looks like a colon, and that means through. So C5 through C8, I want to add those together and find out the sum. So that is essentially what this formula is telling me. I want to add C5 through C8, give me the sum, and put the sum in this square right here. So in this example, this is just maybe a week's worth of entries. I have $320 after I paid these bills. Okay. So let's go back to the example that we were working on together. And I'm going to go ahead and give myself another row. Well, yeah, let's give myself another row of these bordered boxes. And I'm going to click right in here in the bottom cell, right under the range of things I'm going to add together. And then I'm going to go over to this auto sum or functions category. I'm going to go to sum and click on that. And it wants to know the sum of what. And then I can just drag and select these. And so I'm doing C4 through C10. And I can see that by looking at this is column C, and this is 4. And then the last one that's selected in the pink is the C10, and I can see that right here also. And then I'm just going to give it a hard enter. I'm going to hit enter. So now that is my new balance, the $729.
Let's take a closer look at our finalized monthly budget. You can see the $729 balance at the bottom. Now let's summarize about what we've learned in this series. In this series, we have learned to do the following: organize our income and expenditures, how to do a basic budget layout, how to input income and expenditure numbers, and how to use basic functions like AutoSum. We hope you have enjoyed this 3-part series on the fundamentals of creating a monthly budget, creating a digital budget, and finalizing a digital monthly budget. If you have further questions, you can reach me at fountaink@trailslibrary.org. Thanks for watching.